right, so we've been talking about getting to know our faith better, knowing my faith better by knowing more of the Bible.
Oh, definitely.
All right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Christmas. All right?
Okay, let's talk about Christmas.
What do you know about Christmas?
Nothing like mostly stuff from American TV, I guess, but nothing like not Christmas. I never watched a Christmas special. Let's put it this way. Just
Nothing about the
references.
Jesus story?
Just references to stuff.
Three wise men?
Nothing.
Nothing
No, we
at
didn't
all?
have anything about it. No.
Okay.
No. We just assumed that Jesus was born in Christmas. Some Israelis believe, not all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That Jesus was born in Christmas, and his circumcision, his Brit Milah, was in New Year's.
Okay.
Which kind of doesn't make sense.
No,
like
no.
6
All right.
days.
So let's give you the traditional overview of Christmas.
Okay.
And part of this is what the Bible says, and part of this is tradition.
Please do.
So Caesar ordered a census, and he said everybody's got to go back to their ancestral home. So Joseph, who was Mary's fiance, has to go back to Bethlehem. According to the traditional story, the night they arrive in Bethlehem, Mary, who was pregnant, gives birth to Jesus. Right? That same night, 3 wise men turn up from the Middle East to worship the king. And then God warns Joseph in a dream to flee because Herod wants to kill him. And so that night he packs up the newborn baby and Mary, his wife, and they flee off into Egypt. Right? That's pretty much the traditional story.
Yeah.
You don't get that from reading the Bible. The problem is Matthew tells the story of the wise men coming, and that's a whole other thing. Luke tells the story of Jesus being born. But the two don't actually go together. There's a separation in there of a couple of years. But there's one passage where you can show that Joseph and Mary definitely didn't flee off into Egypt on the night that Jesus was born.
Oh,
So shall we look at that?
yeah, sure.
All right. So in Luke chapter 2,
Yeah.
in verse 21, it says, when 8 days were accomplished for the circumcising of the child, his name was called Jesus, or Yeshua, which was so named of the angel before he was conceived. And when the days of her purification, according to the law of Moses, were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. Right? So you remember I talked about Luke, he's the doctor, right? He goes into details. So he says, when the days of her, Mary's purification were finished, they took him where? To the temple to present him to the Lord, because that's what they've got to do. Right?
Yeah.
So what is this days of purification?
What are these days of purification?
Well, we've got to go back to the Torah,
Yeah.
into the Old Testament, into Leviticus chapter 12.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a long section, so
I'm just gonna go for it.
yep, go for it. 1 to 8.
1 to 8, all
1
of
to 8.
them. Okay.
All of it, yeah.
וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל לאמור, אישה כי תזריע וילדה זכר וטומאה 7 ימים, כי ימי נידת דותה תטמא, וביום השמיני ימול בשר ערלתו, ו30 יום ו3 ימים תשב בדמי טהרה, בכל קודש לא תיגע ואל המקדש לא תבוא, עד מלות ימי טהרה. ואם נקבה תלד, וטמאה שבועיים כנידתה, ו60 יום ו6 ימים תשב על דמי טהרה. ומלאת ימי טהרה לבן או לבת, תביא כבש בין שנתו לעולה, ובין יונה או תור לחטאת אל פתח אוהל מועד, אל הכהן, ויקריבו לפני אדוני, וכיפר עליה, וטהרה ממקור דמיה. זאת תורת היולדת לזכר או לנקבה. ואם לא תמצא ידה, די שא, ולקחה 2 תורים או 2 בני יונה, אחת לעולה ואחת לחטאת. וכיפר עליה הכהן בטהרה. Yeah.
You got to give us a rough translation?
It's a lot of laws, it's
Yeah.
rules, it's a lot of conditions. So,
Okay. The main thing is, it says in verse 2,
Yeah.
when a woman has a child,
Yeah.
she's unclean for 7 days,
Yes.
according to the days of the separation when she's menstruating, all right? Which means she's not allowed to move.
Yeah.
On the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin is circumcised, and then
Yes.
she continues in the blood of purification, so continues to remain unclean for another 30 days.
Yes, until she has the thing.
Yeah. So you've got basically 40 days pretty much that Mary's not moving anywhere. So she's certainly not jumping on a donkey and traveling to Egypt on the night that he was born.
Okay.
But the other thing is we go down to the bottom of that passage
Yeah.
to verse 12, verse 8.
Verse 8, yeah.
And it says that, actually no, it's verse 7.
Oh yeah, if you make a sacrifice,
Yep.
it purifies you. It's all right.
Yep. But I've got to go back further. I'm missing it here. Verse 6. She
Verse
shall
6.
bring a lamb of the first year for a
Yeah.
burnt offering,
Yeah.
and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering.
Yeah.
So what's when you have your first child and it's a male, you bring what? A lamb and a turtle dove.
Yeah.
So if we go back to the Luke account, what
Yeah.
do we find that they bought?
Um,
Verse 24.
24. They brought
A pair of turtle doves.
a pair of young doves or a pair of.
Where's the lamb?
No lamb.
No lamb. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Well, you go back to Leviticus,
Yeah.
and it says in one of the latter verses, if you can't afford a lamb, just bring 2 turtle doves.
Ah,
So if they just brought 2 turtle doves, it kind of implies
yeah.
that they were poor.
that's the 8th one.
Yeah.
That's the 8th verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So in that, going back to that traditional story of the 3 wise men, the wise men brought gifts, and they brought 3 gifts, which is why everyone says there was 3 of them. It was gold, myrrh, and frankincense. Right, so if the wise men bought gold, why are Joseph and Mary bringing a poor man's sacrifice?
That's interesting.
Yeah. So when you put the 2 accounts together, the Matthew account and the Luke account, and you read them correctly, you find the wise men didn't actually turn up for at least 18 months.
Okay.
So it's, and again, it's just you read the New Testament, the Brit Hadashah,
Yeah.
with the Old Testament, the Torah and the Tanakh, you put them together, read them together, and you get the full picture. If you just read one part, you miss out on so much.
Yeah, I guess you understand the law a lot better about how to act in these kind of situations.
The more you read it, the more you understand it.
No, it's pretty good.